They are afraid. They are very afraid. The army is afraid. Businessmen are afraid. The police are just extremely afraid now. They are afraid because they saw millions of people who, for them, politics changed forever. Politics in Egypt and in the region ceased to be that thing that is done behind closed doors and in the corridors of power. Politics have become that thing that people do. It has become the means for more freedom and for the defense of our freedom. They are very afraid because they told us we cannot touch Hosni Mubarak. Hosni Mubarak is now under house arrest, very chic house arrest in Sharm el-Sheikh, I know. But now his assets, his family's assets, his friends' assets, friends of the friends' assets are frozen. And he's prohibited from leaving Egypt even if he wants, even if he gets They are afraid because they told us from the very beginning of the revolution that we can hear that demand about repealing the emergency law, but we will repeal it only when the time is opportune, when the conditions are opportune for repealing the emergency law. The emergency law prohibits any 5 or more people from gathering together on the streets. At some point we were 8 million. That is their emergency law for them. They are extremely afraid because for the demand of dissolving the state security police, they said, we understand that there need to be some changes there, but we will do them when the opportunity is there. On the 5th of March, the masses, the activists, surrounded, attacked, entered, cleared, got the documents of the state security forces in Egypt. Now, the army is pleading to the activists to return those documents. And the activists answered, surely we will do, but we are photocopying them now. They are very afraid, and they are trying one dirty card after another. They are fomenting pogroms against the Christians. They are attacking and harassing demonstrations for women's rights. And they are calling for a return to normality. Their normality is that people, do you think the people of Egypt will return back to a situation where 40% of the population live under the level of Egyptian poverty line? Do you think they will go back to their workplaces where there was always an office for state security police? Do you think they will go back to universities where next to the dean's office there was always in every single college in Egypt an office for state security police? If that is normal, definitely Egypt will never go back to normal. Teachers are striking, and they are calling for a minimum wage. They are calling for giving permanent contracts to fixed-term teachers. Sometimes it goes on for 20 or 30 years. And they are calling for improving and changing the textbooks and the curricula, and I quote here, in such a way as to respect human dignity and human rights. This is normal. The students of Cairo University have been occupying, perhaps they prefer the term, have been liberating Cairo University for a week now. The moment they came back, the moment they went back to university, there was no state security police already, had run away. Immediately, they called for getting rid of the head of the university, because of his ties, of course, with the regime and the state security police. And they started forming their free unions, and they started calling for better education and better curricula. And immediately, the Cairo University was closed down. Again, another type of capitalist strike. So now, they have added to their demands that they are calling on their teachers to come to Cairo University to start the new term on their own terms, without the administration of that university. That is more normal. In Suez, about 10 days ago, there's a committee, a civilian committee made of activists who manage the affairs of that most heroic of cities, in coordination with the army. And they told the army that they are not accepting the governor of the old regime anymore, and the army had to acquiesce. The governor had to go. The director of police and security in Suez, they said, we are not allowing this person to come back here, and the army had to acquiesce. Interestingly, it is said in the newspapers that the army had to read out, one by one, the names of the police officers they wanted to station back in the police stations of Suez. And they had to present to this civilian committee, and that committee refused 15 of them. They said, those 15 officers are not coming back to this town of ours. I think this is more normal, isn't it? In Bahrain, the head of state security police, the day after Mubarak fell, got some of his thugs and started shooting in the air, trying to scare the peasants of Bahrain, the poor people of Bahrain, just forgetting that if he had thought at some time that shooting in the air scared people away, after the revolution, shooting in the air brought hundreds and hundreds of people to his call. They cleared that palace of his, and he had hundreds of acres that he had usurped from those peasants, and they had court trials after court hearings, and of course they never got the land. When they heard his call, they went there, they took their land again, and they started plowing it. This is what I call normal. So it is really a choice between their normality and ours. Now, they want to push us back. And the way, the only way for us to keep what we have gained and to go forward to more normality, not go back, is to keep up the pressure and to keep up the struggle from below, to keep up the strikes, keep up the sit-ins, keep up the demonstrations, and keep up perhaps also the self-organization of the masses. In this regard, it's extremely important to mention the role that's being played by the committees for the defense of the revolution in neighborhoods and in workplaces. Just to mention that there is a strike by postal services, and there was a statement issued. This statement explained to the public what services are still on and what services are not offered, just to not inconvenience the public. And that statement was published under the name of the Committee for the Defense of the Revolution in the Postal Service. This is the way forward. Also, I know that the revolutionary left is in the heart of a struggle and the process of establishing a new democratic workers' party that already has a provisional program that is based on the might of the masses, based on all the gains that we had, putting them together and pushing it forward on the democratic demands, full equality between Muslims and Christians, full equality between men and women, repealing the emergency law, safeguarding the freedom to publish, safeguarding the freedom to have strikes, the freedom to form trade unions, and also on the economic political demand, a stop to the policy of privatization, putting an end to neoliberal policies, and also the renationalization of those ventures that were sold off just to those, they were stolen from the people, so they are calling already for renationalizing them and putting them under popular and workers' supervision. This is more over. Workers' struggle, economic demands, and equality are now being put forward by the people, by the masses. They are not afraid. They know how strong they are, and they are going to win. Thank you very much. Hands off the Libyan revolution. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. We say this to the same governments who, it transpires that just a year ago, gave Gaddafi a multi-million-pound deal in devices, what's called crowd control devices. They are the same governments now trying to rescue and save the Libyan people. Well, hands off our region. You know, in Tahrir Square, when the millions of people took their destiny in their hand, and people were asking, what's Obama doing? And of course, people laughing, he's waiting for Hosni Mubarak to come on TV. And the next day, what's Obama doing? He's waiting for the number 2, Omar Suleiman, to go on TV. I saw one most beautiful and concise placards in Tahrir Square. President Obama, yes we did. We don't need neither Obama nor Cameron. We need the British people, the British masses. We need their solidarity, and the best way of solidarity, the most profound and the most forceful, is to bring down this government. This is the way to